Hi, and welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm Billy Weiss, compounding pharmacist and health and wellness expert. As always, my co-host Janet, behind the scenes, making everything happen, producer Mike. Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's getting cold outside.
Yep, we're here in December, right? We're in the winter.
Our last episode, we talked about what happens in the winter for most people is the seasonal allergies, colds, flus, and we talked a lot about how to get your immune system up. We talked about what supplements and products you can get to help. We talked about spiking a fever even to help you. And so watch our last episode. And on this episode, we're going to continue talking a little bit about colds and flus and seasonal allergies and what should our diet be? What kind of food should we eat to keep our immune system high all year round? And I get the question all the time, what do you eat? What do you buy at the grocery store?
Me too, Janet, believe me. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So what do you eat, Billy? And your whole family?
Well, first of all, the first thing that comes to my mind is pillar one of the OptiU program is God-given quality foods. So number one, I want to make sure that what I'm eating is quality. Okay, so that's the first thing that I think people should think about now.
And God-given means it's something that's growing naturally out
real.
of the ground. It's real.
It's not processed.
Okay.
And quality means that it's probably not in a box, a bag, or a can, is what I tell people. So what I try to do, what Beth and I try to do, is buy from local farmers as much as possible. And I know we can't maybe get everything from there.
In the wintertime, it's hard to get to,
it's harder.
And the farmer's market's not happening.
Right. But we try to get as much as we can from farmers, local farmers, from the farmer's market. If we can't, then we're trying to buy organic in the stores. We're trying to make good quality choices, but everything typically that we would buy or eat is a real food that will spoil if not eaten in a certain amount of time. So it's not preserved. Again, it's not in a box, a bag, or a can and going to last the next 35 years and look the same when I eat it.
Well, and you'll talk more about this in your upcoming class, which is January 4th and 5th.
Right.
You'll talk about it. You'll give us a grocery list.
We feed you.
And you'll feed us.
We feed you some of the stuff.
But the other thing that you do that I really love is that you have gone out to different farms. You have researched their whole operation with what they feed, what they use for feed, what the soil is like, the environment, the whole thing, so that you're able to sort of point us in the direction of where we could go find some of these exceptional God-given foods.
Yeah, and even beyond that, how they're processed.
Yeah.
How does that work? What kind of chemicals are they or aren't they using in the process of getting the meat ready or the eggs ready or the whatever ready? So there's so many steps in that process. But yeah, we do carry a certain and recommend a Windy Hill Farms for our meat.
Love their meat.
We recommend Alan Sherrill Paleo Farms for our eggs.
I love
we
their
get
eggs.
Raw milk from Green Family Farms. So again, we're trying to buy as much local, which I think is important to support the small business people.
And really get to know them.
And,
I
ask
love
the
getting
questions.
to know them.
Absolutely. Most of them will be very honest with you. When you ask, do you give your animals hormones and antibiotics? Do you spray your crops with any kind of fertilizers or pesticides? Most of them will immediately give you their answers, because most of these mom and pops, most cannot afford to be certified organic, because again, some of the cost and the cumbersome regulations in order to get certified, it's just something that a smaller farmer can't always do, but they're practicing those concepts. They're just not certified by our government agencies, and that's fine with me. Because if I believe the person, if I can look them in the eye and they say, this is how we do it.
Not just look them in the eye. I can walk up to the Green Family Farm lady and I can look at her skin and look at her eyes and she's just beautiful. And I'm like, I want my skin to look like your skin.
Well, they're just, and Janet, they're just good, hardworking people.
And we ask them, what do you feed your cows?
Yeah.
They tell us
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it.
I even asked them the question about, do they ever give them any antibiotics? And they said, well, very occasionally we do have to give our cows antibiotics, but then we have a certain time frame, and I can't remember what it was.
Where they don't rotate them back in.
They don't rotate them into the herd. They don't get any milk from them. They wouldn't process them until all those antibiotics are out of their system. So very important to know these things and to think these things through.
And to go out and
know where your food is coming from. That's the beauty of the local farmers market.
Go out and find your local farmers market. One of my dear friends, Lydia, is a school teacher, and she teaches elementary school, and she was asking their kids, do they even know where food comes from?
Yeah.
And most of them said McDonald's.
A drive-through,
or, the grocery store. Like they hadn't thought back to where does food actually come from, and maybe the food that they're eating is all just coming from a box. And there you go with the immune system and the gut problems and all of that. So, back to what do you eat?
Yeah.
And I know what's going to come up too is what about people that are vegetarian? And then there's all the different diets. So,
I certainly understand that some people have different reasons for being vegetarian. However, I know that it leaves some severe nutritional deficiencies that at the very least we need to cover with the right supplements.
Okay.
But the first thing that I teach people about food is we need good quality protein. Now define good quality protein. Well,
because everything says, even a Snickers bar has everything's got protein in it now.
So that's not quality protein. But quality protein in my mind is animal protein because it's a complete protein. Now, a lot of people will argue with me and say that they can get protein from broccoli. Yes, there is protein in broccoli, but there's a very small percentage of protein in broccoli, and is not a complete protein. It doesn't have the entire amino acid profile. Now, we have 11 essential amino acids, and amino acids are simply the chains that make up the protein. And so 11 of them our bodies can't make. So we can eat certain things and our bodies can produce some amino acids, but 11 are essential, which means we have to take them in. And you find those in animal products.
But you don't find those in beans or in soy.
You don't find all 11. That's correct. And so I believe that meat, animal product, meat from clean, well-fed, sourced animals is the healthiest foods that we can eat. And most of my diet, most of mine and Beth's diet, for full disclosure, it's probably at least 90% red meat. So I don't believe red meat causes heart disease. I think the studies are just the opposite. I don't believe red meat causes cancer, especially when it's quality and when it's digested properly with my digestive enzymes and probiotics. So most of our food comes from local farmers and is red meat. Now, we eat some chicken, some pork. We eat quite a few eggs. I actually put a raw egg from Paleo Farms in my protein, my whey shake every day. But the first thing that people need to understand is that most Americans are protein deficient, and every cell in our body is made up of protein, and our immune system requires protein. We talked a little bit last week about glutathione, our master antioxidant made in the liver.
Yeah.
Well, it only happens if is only produced efficiently and in higher quantities if we have sufficient protein in the body.
Wow.
So protein plays a huge part in our immune system in every cell of our body. So I want to make sure, number one, that I'm getting enough protein. And the easiest way to think about that for most people, and we don't weigh, count, and measure, but I want people to be aware of how protein deficient most Americans are. So probably for somebody like me, I weigh about 170 pounds. I'm about 160 pounds of lean muscle and about 10 pounds of fat. So I want to get at least 160 grams of protein a day, 1 gram per pound of lean mass. So for most women, what we tell them, the average size woman is probably going to need 110 to 120 grams of protein a day. Now, if you're 400 pounds, we don't want you to get 400 grams of protein. We want you to get what would be a more ideal weight in protein. But for most women, it's going to be 110 to 120 grams of protein a day. I would tell you, Janet, that I believe most women are probably, if they're lucky, around 40 to 50, maybe. Okay. And now they can't maintain muscle. They can't have an adequate immune system. They can't build new muscle, certainly.
Or they're eating those impossible burgers where they think they're getting this quality protein and it's the fake meat.
Yeah.
And that stuff's got more processed
it's got more
grains and chemicals than, it's really
full of toxins,
really bad.
Really. And so most men are going to need 150 grams and above. I try to get, my 160 to 200 a day, honestly, because the more I work out, the more protein I'm going to need and the more muscle I want to be able to maintain. So protein, and protein comes from
animals.
Most commonly animal products, the most effective, the most complete protein
now,
comes from animal products.
When you're supplementing protein, and I love your protein powder, it comes in chocolate and vanilla, and you can go out and buy protein powder anywhere. And so I think a lot of people are hearing the message of we need more protein. So they're out there getting their protein powder, but not all protein powders are the same. So what do we need to look for in a protein powder?
Well, first of all, I think you do not want a protein isolate. That means they've isolated part of the entire amino acid profile. And most proteins on the market, unfortunately, are isolates.
And they say soy, usually they say soy isolates.
We don't want, I believe that we don't want any soy at all.
Right.
Okay. Soy can affect the hormones. There's a whole, it's genetically modified. There's a whole problem there.
So we're looking for whey.
We're looking for whey. We're looking for grass-fed, grass-finished, going to be very, very hard to find.
Yeah.
We're looking for no hormones, no antibiotics, no GMOs, no added sugars. And we're looking for protein that is not heated up. Mm-hmm. So when protein is processed, the easiest way is to heat it when whey is processed. The problem is when you heat it, you destroy the enzymes, and then it becomes problematic. It can create gut issues. People say, well, I drink my protein, I get gas, and all this. It can be harder for the kidneys to digest. So if you look at the studies, over 99% of protein powders on the market were denatured. That means they were heated and the living enzymes are gone. We do not do that with our IPU protein at all.
So it should say whey, grass-fed, grass-finished.
I don't know that you're going to, I mean, it should, but are you going to know if it's denatured or heated? Probably not, Janet. You just have to really understand and know the company, just like we're talking about knowing Dana at Windy Hill Farms, knowing Alan at Paleo Farms. No, I'm not sure of the lady's name at
Mrs.
Green Family Farm.
Yeah, Mrs. Green, we love Mrs. Green.
Family Farm, you got to know the source, which is why I'm so passionate about our protein and our supplements, because I know every single ingredient that goes in it and I know the quality. So
not all pharmaceutical grade products are the same.
Not at all.
So
many are owned by big major corporations and they cut corners, and so you have to be careful, Janet. The more you can deal with a smaller business person or a smaller provider of your products, the better you're going to be.
Well, back to the protein, counting protein. A year ago, I started just counting protein and forgetting counting calories at all. And it's been so much easier just to count protein. So every day I aim to get 120 to 130 grams of protein.
Yep.
Seems like most days I fall around 105, 110. So I need to work on that. And I think just putting an extra scoop of the protein powder, I'm doing 2 scoops instead of 1 scoop. Is that okay?
That's the way I do it, Janet. I do 2 scoops of the whey.
And add an egg.
I add the egg. I do a scoop of collagen. I use raw milk most days. Now, some days I'll put it in Kangen water, but most days I use the raw milk. So I'm getting about 60 grams of protein in that, because I can't eat 170 to 200 grams of protein a day, or 160 to 200 grams of protein a day. I have to supplement with the shake, and the shake is great taste and it's convenient, it's quick. I'm busy at work, I'm doing consultations.
It's very good with just water, so it's great to take with you.
I can shake it up with water, I can shake it up with the milk, and I can literally make my meal and drink it in 30 seconds.
My mom is loving your protein powder.
Yeah. And so the problem is almost every American is protein deficient. And so
Well, so I'm counting mine, and the product Fortigen, it's equivalent to 50 grams of protein.
Well, so I carry a product called Fortigen HP. It is not my product, but it is a quality essential amino acid, so it gives us those that our body
those
can't
11.
make. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use that product with, we typically mix it just with Kangen water. And yeah, a scoop of that will give you the equivalent of 50 grams of whey because it gives you that 11 essential. So if you still can't get your protein in with the powder and with the whey shake and with the food that you're able to eat, the Fortigen is a great way to, the Fortigen HP that we have is a great way to supplement and get another 50 grams. And some people have to do that and some people don't.
I love the Fortigen, and I take it first thing every day. And I try to take my protein shake right after I've worked out.
Yeah, and the whey shake is great after you work out for sure. It's great as a breakfast. It's great as a lunch. It's where I typically use it because I'm busy doing consultations. So
just don't pack the white powder in a plastic bag in your suitcase and try to go through the airport, because that happened to me, and all the dogs and everybody else came, and it was just protein powder. And they're like, okay, go ahead.
They just do their explosives test and let you go. I've had it happen many a time. But the protein is a really convenient way to get in a massive amount of nutrients and a very short, convenient, inexpensive time frame. I mean, compared to going to a fast food restaurant, this protein shake is going to be less expensive and going to be packed full of things that we need versus things that our body's now trying to get rid of all the toxins.
I bet you could pass it off as chocolate milk almost to the kids because it tastes great.
One of the things when our kids were growing up was they would wake up in the mornings and they would ask for their proteins. They loved it. They drank it. And our grandkids now love it. When they get up from their nap, and they're at our house, we'll have them a protein shake ready, and they just suck it down like crazy. I mean, they love it.
And they're what, 3-year-olds?
No, they're one.
They're okay. Sorry, Garrett.
Yeah, you're rushing Garrett there. So protein, but quality, full spectrum amino acid protein.
So last year at your class, your annual class, again, coming up this January 4th and 5th, 2025, and sign up. There's not that many spaces left.
Right.
But I've taken this class 8 different weekends, maybe even more, and something really sticks out in my mind, different every class.
Right.
Because I can only take in and digest so much. And I think last year what I really got was that I had to get more protein.
Yeah.
And I have to really work on my muscle building. And from a year ago to now, I dropped from 161 to I was 128 this morning. I probably need to put some weight back on, but it's because of the protein. I've really focused on protein, and it fills me up, the quality meat especially.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm hungry. I'm not craving anything. And when people ask me, well, what do you guys eat? We probably 90% of our diet is red meat.
Yeah.
I love full-fat Greek yogurt, of course, unsweetened. We eat a lot of eggs, a little bit of chicken, and a little bit of poultry that we get local. It's all pastured. And I'm thinking, that's it. We eat blueberries and a little bit of honey, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so for us, again, 90% probably red meat. Which gives me good quality fats with the protein.
And we need the fat. Oh, people, please eat fat.
Yeah, and protein is very satiating.
Yes.
So it is what fills us up. Now, when we eat a processed food or a bread or a potato chip or a cookie, it actually turns our ghrelin on and tells us we need more.
We don't get full. It's the opposite. It makes us hungrier and
Janet,
hungrier.
these food scientists have figured that out. It's not a mistake. They put the right combinations in that make us want more.
Addiction.
It's an addiction. So we need to think of putting in good real foods because that signals our body that we're not hungry anymore, and it makes us full when we're eating good quality protein and good quality fats, and they're typically found in animal products together.
Well, I can hear people screaming right now. What about vegetables? What about fiber?
Okay, so we eat some
that.
vegetables. We would typically eat some vegetables with our red meat, but it's not a big part of what we eat. And again, I'm going to get a ton of comments and yelled at about this. I think the fiber thing is completely overblown. I think fiber is important, but we don't have to shoot for whatever they tell me grams a day. Yeah. We will typically eat Brussels sprouts, broccoli, sweet potatoes, I'm trying to think, squash, zucchini, onions with our steak, with our hamburger without a bun. Mm-hmm. For example, last night I grilled hamburgers, grass-fed, grass-finished, Windy Hill hamburgers, no bun. I grilled onions and peppers, and Beth made sweet potato wheels in the oven. Yeah. Wow. That was our meal.
And that's easy.
It's easy, it's quick, it's very filling and very, very tasty. And so one of the things that we do, that would be that's typical, or we would have a steak and broccoli.
Well, I have had the similar meal last night and came up with a little plan for a dessert. So here's my new dessert plan. Mm-hmm. We are doing a little picnic out on our boat tonight, and I'm thinking of things I can take out on the boat. And I've come up with a little plan of taking the little glass mason jars.
Yep.
And I'm going to make a layered yogurt parfait where I'm going to put a little bit of Greek yogurt and then sprinkle a little bit of, I've got this granola that's made out of coconuts and nuts and a little bit of that, and drizzle a little bit of honey. And then another scoop of yogurt, another scoop of the nuts, and then another little drizzle of honey. Put the lid on, and that's going to be the big treat for everyone tonight. They'll have their own little yogurt parfait.
Love it.
That's fun and easy, and the kids would love that.
The kids would love it, and we don't do it a lot, but we do eat some of the local honey from the farmer's market, and honey can have a lot of nutrients.
It can also turn on that craving more and more sugar.
Yeah, again, we don't overdo it, right. But it's a good quality treat like you're talking about making. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, and I would probably throw blueberries in there too, so that would just be my treat.
I think that's great. And we occasionally eat some blueberries, but again, we're working out really hard. You're working out really hard, so you can do more of the honey and the blueberries.
And come to the class and learn how to make the ice cream, because man, in your recipe book, you've got so many amazing, the best pound cake I've ever tasted, which is so easy to make. Ice cream, vanilla and chocolate ice cream,
and these
brownies.
Things don't spike the blood sugar that she's talking about,
right? Because they're made mostly with
with different ingredients, but they taste really good. I had Johnny Paysauer was on here months ago now. And he talks about how when he come to the summit, he was eating the cake and the cookies. He was like, this can't be good for me. It tasted just, literally now you can almost make it taste just like the sugary bad for you stuff. Right. We've done a lot of experiments. Beth and I have thrown a lot of things away because you make it and you're like, not too good, trash it, change this ingredient, change that ingredient. But a lot of experimentation. A lot of time working on it. But I think that the ice cream that we make is as good as any ice cream you can get, and it's really good for you. And if I'm going to have a treat, that is my preferred treat is ice cream. So if I can eat a healthy, quote, healthier ice cream, it's not going to spike my blood sugar and insulin. That's what I'm going to do.
My preferred treat is coffee. So I I know you don't drink coffee, but I will make your ice cream recipe.
Yep.
And then I actually put it into my coffee and then into the blender and add the protein powder. Yep. And then I have like this coffee chocolate milkshake that is to die for.
Well, my wife Beth she likes coffee. And so that's a treat for her, but she's using Swiss water decaf, local roasted, small roasters,
mold-free
coffee. So yeah, nothing wrong with that if people like that as their treat. Just everybody has their thing. Let's just find a healthy source. But let's concentrate on getting in good quality protein, which will typically include the good quality fats. And we're going to cook those good quality proteins in good quality fats like grass-fed butter, beef tallow, lard, avocado oil, but coconut oil. We do not want to heat and cook with olive oil. Okay, it makes it a rancid type fat, a bad fat. So we use it for drizzles, salad dressings, put it on your veggies after you cook them if you want it on there. Don't cook with the olive oil. I hear that mistake all the time from people. Avocado oil can handle the heat,
but not
olive oil cannot. Butter can handle the heat. Coconut oil can handle the heat. Tallow can handle the heat. Lard can handle the heat. But olive oil is not designed to be heated with. And honestly, most olive oils today, unless you really know the source and where it comes from, are not just olive oil. They contain canola oil, which is the most offensive, I think, of the seed oils.
We're lucky in Shelby because we do have a store downtown that has quality olive oil.
Okay.
And you can go in there and you can get quality olive oil. You can get flavored olive oil, and you can talk about where it comes from.
Awesome.
And I'm hoping that she's going to take your class.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know that place existed, so I need to know that. Awesome. All right. Hopefully that helps.
And one more thing.
Protein.
And if anybody has any questions, just whatever platform you're on, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you can put your questions in the comments, and from time to time we'll do a show where we just answer your questions.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Janet.
Thanks.
See ya.